Warriors, sorcerers, and fellow patriots, welcome back to Mo's Kingdoms. Guardian Mo's back online with another video. So, Nigel Farage and his Reform Party have been on the decline in regards to their support, and everyone is defecting from Reform to smaller parties like UKIP, or some are just completely politically homeless, and they're just waiting on Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib to make a move. People have realised we cannot trust a party like that. We throw Tommy under the bus, throw great, honest, decent people like Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe out of the party, kick them out simply because of their criticisms of the Reform leadership, simply because of freedom of speech, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. You know, Reform and Farage, they're all about freedom of speech, right? Except when you're either a Tommy Robinson supporter or you criticise the Reform leadership, you criticise the way Nigel Farage does things, as Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe are perfect examples of this. You know, it's not just Rupert Lowe, it's not just Ben Habib, it's also this guy called Robert Shaw, I forgot what his full name is. He got kicked out immediately after he publicly apologised to Tommy Robinson when he called him a far-right Nazi and he thought he was a football hooligan. And he posted it online, and then Reform immediately asked him to resign. And there's a whole plethora of people who were former MPs, members of the Reform Party, who you probably haven't heard of. There's a whole list of them who've expressed concern about Nigel Farage and the way he's organising the party, the way the leadership is going, and they've been booted out. There's a branch in the Isle of Wight. They've just shut down. They're in support. They're a part of Reform. They've just shut down their branch, and this just goes to show that Reform are not the party for us. You know, they're on the decline, and people know it. There was this young lad. He rocked up to a reform conference happening in Doncaster, and he got refused entry simply because he was wearing a Tommy Robinson t-shirt, like, you know, one of those free Tommy Robinson shirts that they're selling on Urban Scoop. I mean, how is it that just because you support a certain individual, you can't attend a Reform conference? That's simply indicative of Nigel Farage acting like a dictator. That is tyrannical. That's authoritarian. That is truly a good example of what a fascist government does, and that is the trajectory that Reform is taking. And it's not just this young lad. Recently, Paz49, his entry got refused as well. Well-known YouTuber on our United Kingdom movement. He rocked up to the Birmingham conference, and he got refused entry and he got kicked out. And apparently he wasn't allowed to film inside of the conference. You know, there were a few security guards came up to him, told him that he had to leave, and one of them behind them, you can see the video on his channel. One of the security guards told one of his colleagues that, oh, it's him, as in, oh, it's that YouTuber who criticises Reform and criticises Nigel Farage, and so he's simply not welcome to the conference because they think that something's going to kick off, and he's going to spout all sorts of negative comments on against Nigel Farage in the middle of his speech, in front of the whole audience, and that's probably what Farage is fearing, and he's scared of that happening because he's a coward, and we all know it. And even Cloud, this channel called Clown World YouTube, he got kicked out as well. He attended the conference alongside Paz49. And this just goes to show, like, they are not for freedom of speech. Well, they are for freedom of speech, this right-wing Tory 2.0 party, only with a few exceptions. That as long as you're not supporting Tommy Robinson, as long as you don't criticise the Reform Party, welcome aboard. Is that the kind of rhetoric you support? Is that the kind of party? Is this the kind of individual you will be voting for in the general election in 2029? I don't think so. You can't serve two masters. You can't support both Tommy Robinson and say that you will be voting reform. Because that is just doing a detriment to yourself. You are sabotaging the country. You are sabotaging good, decent, working class British people who just want the best for their communities. And I hated the fact that, during the speech that Nigel Farage made, everyone just whips out their phone, taking videos of Farage. It's almost as if they're rocking up to some rock concert. Fireworks going out and loud music, and Farage stepping out of that JCB pothole fixer like he's some celebrity. It's just the whole celebrity me show with Nigel Farage. He's not going to do anything to save the country. He's not going to deport illegal migrants. He's not going to address the problem of radical Islam. He's not going to do any of that. It's all about him. It's all about his merch store and selling all his merchandise products. Not a single Union Jack flag was hoisted and waved during the conference. I wonder why. Because this is not a political party out to save the country. This is a political project, and it is a private business. That is Reform UK. That is the truth. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. So stop supporting Reform. Stop getting behind Nigel Farage, all you diehard Conform supporters, for the last time. He talks about potholes at the start of the conference, at the start of his speech. Can you support a leader who's talking about potholes at the start of the conference? There's more pressing matters to this country than potholes, for God's sake. Grooming gang scandal, illegal migration, radical Islam, the problem with globalism, the Labour Party, the Tory Party, rotten, crooked, corrupt politicians who refuse to serve their own people and only serve their own personal needs, filling in money from hard-working taxpayers into their own wallets, increasing their pay rise whilst increasing the rates of council tax and putting a tax on farmers, removing money from pensioners and taxpayers, winter fuel allowance. All of this needs to be addressed. But Nigel Farage simply isn't interested. This is not the party for me. This is not the party for you. Get behind UKIP. Get behind a real political party. Let's make change. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Sorry for rambling on and on, but I just had to get this out of my chest. I'm losing my ability to speak right now, but yeah, we need a political party who will stand for genuine freedom and freedom of speech. And the only party that's doing that is UKIP. So I'll see you in the next video.